This is Rhino, and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Monday, March 26th. Things are a little bit different right now because we are getting packs with our daily quests. However, that hasn't happened yet on the Americas account, I can see. So, because of that, I can only want to do 2 victories with Mage, and then I'll just be done for the day. I can't do this Tavern Brawl, and I had already made some space, I guess, for that to happen. It's kind of early to be so close to the end. 7:47 Central Time. Yeah, it would be a real mistake to get 3 victories with the Mage, and we can't do Tavern Brawls no matter what. The other thing we found is that if you get Challenge a Friends or Watch Your Learns, those also apply. So challenging a friend will give both you and your friend a card pack, starting tomorrow for the Americas account, which that's great news. Do we have something to play with the Mage? Let's see. Cry Elemental Death. I'll see if we can play that before I get too frustrated and get rid of that. Standard, we're at rank 20. It'd be kind of nice if we could get guess we'll just play wild. Just try to get up higher. So my main goal in the next 45 minutes is to get through all the news, because there's been a lot of games, I suppose. Game came out on the 26th, no reviews, called Peace Duke. Developer Shark Game has several games on Steam, which is interesting. And its publisher has several other games on Steam. Let's see. Does this game look like something? It looks like a old fantasy. No, it's a platformer. Well, it is a fantasy platformer. Kind of like Ghosts and Goblins, but not even as good looking as Ghosts and Goblins. Yeah, it looks like garbage. What can you say? Like, this is the kind of garbage you would expect actually from the 80s, before there was Unity and Unreal asset stores to flip. This is, somebody actually did make 8-bit pixels and tiled out different sprites and things, and boy, does this not look good by a modern perspective. This is just awful. It's selling for 35% off at 64 cents. 4 different locations. Pixel art graphics, old school gameplay, variety of enemies is all it sells itself on. That is an easy pass, Peace Duke. We need to kind of be quicker as far as playing all these games and beating all this. Next game we have is called Revenger Age of Morons. It has 2 reviews, came out February 20th. It's interesting, it only has 2 reviews. And it looks like garbage too. It looks like it's a 3D asset flip game where you're running around with a ball and chain on a mace. Yeah, that's what that weapon's called. And trying to beat on what looks like only one enemy in the entire game. It's selling 30% off for 69 cents. So seems like they're pretty consistent about selling these terrible games at 69 cents. Which I imagine is probably the lowest you can set it to. The review is not recommended, 0 effort, enemies 1-hit kill, small empty map with some guys stuck in it. Just so awful. This game took me about 15 minutes to beat. and it can be done in far less time if you actually know what you're doing. It's not worth the money at all. So 2 negative reviews, which play this and that, then end the turn. So yeah, Revenger Age of Morons. This developer EVLAVV_studio must be a fake game maker, because they have like 4 games that all look horrible. One called I Saw It, IT. One called Archer Dead Hunter. One called Revenger Age of Morons, and one called Mar War The Evil Awakens. So still no fake game flag, though. You can't just flag games for being fake, which they desperately need to add that to Valve. I should have played this and silenced them. Oh well. Gematsu has an article. Fantasy Earth Genesis has been delayed to the fall in Japan. I haven't heard of this game. More information due out starting in April. Square Enix has delayed its September 2017 announcement of Fantasy Earth Genesis from its previous planned winter release in Japan to this fall. It will be available for iOS and Android. More information about this free-to-play online battle action RPG starting in April. And that explains why I haven't heard of it. It's a Japan-only cell phone game.
Your magic shall not save me.
Let's see.
Join me.
We're trying to win, so let's kill things. There's a new trailer out for this game called Mary Skelter 2, which I don't think it's been announced if it's coming to the West or not, but I'm still trying to figure out what it is. Seems like it's a bunch of chibi anime girls, in one of which has a scythe, and they're gonna be fighting monsters or fighting each other, or like, I don't know. I just described like half the animes ever made, though, too. And these trailers don't tell you anything ever. They're all just giant teases. They really do build their product just on name recognition, and I guess it works to a certain extent, because like a name like Mary Skelter it sounds like something interesting. It's at least going to be slightly memorable than several of the other like random things that we see just put on Steam. Inherently, I guess there is the equivalent of the Steam fake game that happens in the Japanese industry. The only difference is that in the actual I think people actually do buy the Japanese games in at least the hundreds, so that they get enough sales for their short amount of budget. I could have used that to kill that. Actually, that was a bad move. Yooka-Laylee, which is mixed reviews. 48% of the 27 most recent reviews are positive, whereas overall, all reviews is 81% positive. It's half off, 66% off right now for the game. The digital deluxe edition is $16.99. The regular version is $13.59. I would like to play Yooka-Laylee, even knowing that it's a sort of bad game. It's rated 73 on Metacritic, and that's probably an accurate actual Metacritic scale and not just a made up one. So, like, the most recent one says, as a fan of the old Banjo series, because Yooka-Laylee is supposed to be a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, I really wanted to love this game. I tried my best to play through this game, but I couldn't finish it. After the update that fixed many of the problems, it got better, but it's still lacking the design and feel that the game that makes it to the game that makes it stand out. The game doesn't really draw you in at any point, and the character's story don't really have any depth. The game feels like it's riding along the old game's success, which is a real shame, as I was hoping that. Boring as waiting for a doctor, buy a Hat in Time. And I guess that's your answer there, is like, buy a Hat in Time. See, I was almost willing to make that appeal, and I could still make the argument that historically it'd be worthwhile to play Yooka-Laylee, get it cheap, and then play a Hat in Time after that and compare and contrast. And if somebody wanted to donate Yooka-Laylee to me right now, that would be fine. I'd still play it and still love it. But it's hard to even make that e-begging appeal for a game that we all know is bad. That sale ends in 16 hours, and I imagine it even at $13, I probably in a year or two could get Yooka-Laylee on a Steam sale for $5. Let's see. Already talked about that. There's a game on Steam called Cross Stitch Puzzle that has one review. It's from a developer called Captain Fluffy, who's made 2 games, one called Mermaid Land and one called Cross Stitch Puzzle. It is 30% off for $6, which seems really, really expensive for what this game is, which is, I believe, just a 2D puzzle game sort of built around cross stitches, but like, this doesn't feel like it could possibly be worth this much money that they're asking for. It does kind of look nice, but no, I mean, $5.60, too expensive. Just too expensive. Let's do this and do this, and we're just gonna have to kill people. Let's see what the one review is on this. It's not in English. It's not recommended, and it's in Japanese. The review for Cross Stitch Puzzle. I'd almost say yes to this game because it looks so good, but the price is too high. And man, Steam is just terrible about connecting games. It really, really is bad at that. It's recommending things that are nowhere close. Yeah, I have to leave that one. That could be a hidden gem of a game, Cross Stitch Puzzle, and I'm just not willing to spend the money to even find out, and I don't think anybody else is either. PC Gamer has an article, what are page and sort files and how big should they be, how to change the virtual memory settings. I think for Windows 10 in particular, there's really no reason to change it at all, for even regardless of whether you have a hard drive or an SSD. I think you just should leave it alone now and let Windows handle it. Let's see. The game The Witness, which is a puzzle game that I think everybody should at least try. I was comparing Riven this weekend as I was playing Riven, a 21-year-old game, to The Witness, and boy does The Witness fix a major problem in Riven by having at least most of the puzzles on tablets and screens that you see, and you clearly know when you've solved the puzzle, and you clearly know which puzzle is going to open which door. There's some major improvements there. Now, I would say that at least Riven has some story, where The Witness has no story whatsoever. And clearly it was going to have story, and they cut it out at the last second. And the Riven has a lot more variety, certainly, in good ways, and sometimes bad ways. Riven is arguably a longer game because of the puzzles, where The Witness is only a long game because it has just a bunch of puzzles that are kind of iterative on each other. So yeah, I would definitely recommend people try The Witness out, and if they get into it, good. If they don't, fine. You'll know probably within an hour. And EA Origin Access, if you have Origin Access, will let you play that game for free. I think we already talked about it, but the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon creative director left Ubisoft after his latest project was cancelled. So we'll just point that out again. Apparently a new X-Files game is in the works. It's a narrative-driven. It'll be narrative-driven according to the series creator Chris Carter. I'm a little iffy about an X-Files video game getting made if it has to live or work with the actors of X-Files, because I just don't really trust. Is it David Duchovny? Is that his name? The guy? Like, I don't trust him to do a great job acting, and I don't think the actors for Mulder or Scully are really that good. Also, the story for X-Files is crazy and insane and all over the place, so I don't know how you make a video game around that. Apparently, there already has been an X-Files game. The already launched game, it was called The X-Files Deep State, a hidden object game that was released on mobiles last month to generally poor reviews. It's been a full 20 years since a proper X-Files game was on PC. Let's see. And apparently the X-Files PC game before was a full motion video game, which, you know, heck, an FMV point and click adventure isn't a terrible thought for a game based on a TV series. Just go ahead and kill this guy. Seems like you didn't actually play as the two actors in the X-Files video, the previous X-Files game. You play as like other FBI agents. I would argue X-Files has just kind of ruined their story, and different. I would have pulled like a different dimension or dream sequence or something, and tried to reset things at this point.
Wanted, dead or alive.
There's also an argument I've had against X-Files because it kind of feeds conspiracy theorists nuts, because people see the conspiracies on X-Files and they say, oh, I know X-Files is a fictional show, but they're getting away with saying things that are actually true by calling it fiction, when we all know, all of us conspiracy nut people know that actually everything they're saying is true, or it is in some way slightly accurate. Let's see. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, Senua, is how it's spelled. I mispronounce it Susuna's Sacrifice, but it's Suna's. Is coming to Xbox One on April 11th, and it will have Xbox One X enhancements, which is pretty much everybody else. You could already play the game on PS4 and PC, and I'd love to play Hellblade on PC if anybody gets in the charitable mood. But I guess PS4 had an exclusivity deal, and so it's been a couple of months. I don't think that's really gonna hurt sales that much, however, on the Xbox, because if you're a hardcore Xbox fan who didn't have a PlayStation, you probably weren't gonna buy a PlayStation to play Hellblade, and were willing to wait. And then the rest of the people who play Xbox and who would have never played Hellblade are still never gonna play Hellblade. So more and more often, it definitely does feel like these it feels like what am I trying to say? Gosh, I've lost my train of thought here. Think about it. Yeah. It feels like Hellblade, these exclusives per console are not really doing anything for anybody. Microsoft is not likely to get too many anyways for the next year or two. But if they did, I don't think it's going to really change anybody's opinion. Travis came out on the chat and says, hey Rhino, hey Travis. I need to start playing casual. The Danganronpa creators have a new game coming westward. Let's see. Let's see if they have a name for it. The game is called Zenki Zero: The Last Beginning. What is Zenki Zero: Last Beginning about? We got an announcement trailer, and let me see if I can describe this trailer without coming off as creepy. Let's see. It seems like the world ended. Oh yeah, I think I'd already seen some news about this. It's the last 8 survivors of the human of the human race, and it's a bunch of high school kids mostly, and then a bunch of clones and narrative RPG for no real reason, and it's a dungeon crawler game with an interesting story, but I mean, that's kind of all it is. And it seems like you can clone yourself and make new clones of yourself every time somebody in your party dies.
This jungle hides many secrets.
Let's see. Time travel, the inability to die, and a vast apocalyptic conspiracy are all involved in this story. Interesting. Yeah. I'm interested to see more about this game, Zenki Zero, but also it is one of those things that is not going to really fall into the category of a game that's going to interest too many people. I'm going to start playing casual and see if maybe I can get some casual with this mage. I just need 2 victories. If I can't, I'm going to delete this and just play a basic deck for now, and then we're going to do some major deck rebuilds when the next expansion comes out. Here's a game that's surprisingly well rated. 96% of 51 recent reviews say positive. Came out the 25th. It's from a game called Kremlin Games, which has released 3 games, or 2 games, and this one is called Ostalgie, Ostalgie, The Berlin Wall. I don't know what Ostalgie means. It probably is just like USSR Russian for the Berlin Wall. But what the game looks like is it seems like it might be this kind of educational sim thing. Was it it's simulation strategy indie is what it's tagged as. And it's kind of like Risk, I think. Or maybe something like Plague Inc. too, where you're playing to spread the influence of Russia, or maybe not spread the influence of Russia. Are these all Russian bots? We'll see how many English reviews give it a positive. So it's a military simulator, like refighting the battles of the USSR. I could see a historical reason that you might be interested in playing this. And that this isn't just like an asset flip or a Russian troll game. It's in English, it's in Russian. It's selling for $6, no discount. Let's see, it seems like they're saying if you buy enough of these games in the first month, they'll add more things, kind of like a Kickstarter thing, which I don't think Steam encourages doing things like that, at the very least. That's load your own pre-order. Let's see. Let's see. It's envisioned as a successor to the previous game from these developers, Crysis in the Kremlin, as is a real-time game rather than turn-based. The game features, as a start, several playable nations, the GDR, Romania, Bulgaria as playable nations, which, with the developer pledging to add for free Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and to extend the timeline if the certain market goals are reached. However, I'm just going to review the game as it is. That's too long of a review, however, to read out loud. Let's see. This game is better than Crisis on the Kremlin, featuring a better UI and smoother gameplay. There are more features, and it is overall just a better experience. Highly recommended for the price, especially if you like politics in any way. Like, I don't like politics, so I don't think I would get this game. Here's a Japanese reviewer saying recommended. Positive. So many positives. So, for me, looking at the positive reviews is often not helpful. Let's look at the 2 negative reviews out of 58 positive ones. I certainly do not recommend this game in its current state. It's got potential certainly for more. The devs have stated they will add more. It certainly needs more because this game has got nothing. It is a show reel, a demo that is released a year before the game is set to come out to show the main features of the game, nothing more. I believe the main reason the game was released in its current state because the devs were running out of cash and a bit of time not knowing how many players they would get and how much time they would get. If you wish to support the devs, I suggest buying the game, then checking back 3 months later on the site to see what updates have been there. But do not even start the game after you buy it because you will immediately regret the decision. Which that's an interesting way to sort, like, to buy a game, because you could potentially buy a game, not play it, and then ask for a refund and get an instant refund. There's a Russian review here that's negative. And he got the game for free. This one puts you in a weird position, but not for me personally. I don't want to play a politics game. Like, I just don't want to do that. Even if it would get me views on my channel and cause controversy, and like, it's just not something I'd want to do. And frankly, looks like it's a little too much of a boring simulation game for me also. But I can't immediately ignore this game either, Nostalgia, and say it's just a terrible piece of garbage game like I can so many other games. It looks like there might be something here. So I'll just leave it at that. Apparently Far Cry has a secret ending you can finish in the first 10 minutes. Like all the other Far Cry games. There's a game on Steam that came out the 25th from Wonderbox game called Geek Fighter. Wonderbox Games has released about 10 games, none of which are reviewed very highly. It is selling for 30% off at $4.89. I don't think so. The graphics don't look that good. And this looks like a probable joke of a game. Like, it looks like it might be like a typing game or something where you answer questions or math problems. Like, it really does look like a typing game. There's 2 modes in the game, mathematics and trivia mode. In math mode, you have to solve equations correctly and quickly, choosing the right answers. Your soldier then gets an anti-tank gun. Yeah, this is a joke of a typing game. Like, one of the questions is, what was the original name in Lara Croft game? Like, it's not even spelled right. It should, I assume what they're asking is, what is the name of the game that Lara Croft was in, which would have been Tomb Raider. Lara Croft Tomb Raider, I believe. So yeah, Geek Fighter is garbage. Man, I still got a bunch of things. Yeah, let's get rid of this deck. More and more we're doing this, just getting rid of decks, coming over here, make this, make a standard deck. What have we got on recipes? We've got 30 out of 30 classics. Geez, how many of these could be gold for my main account? Apparently almost everything. So this is the classic mage, no substitutions at all. Let's play this on casual and see if we can actually get a victory without nice and easily. There's a game called something in Japanese and in Tokyo. It has 3 reviews. It came out March 25th. It's from a developer called Studio Tokyo, which has only released that one game, and another publisher that also has only released this game. What is this? It looks like it might be something that at one time might have been a DS game, because there's 2 screens and one is wider on the top than the bottom screen, and that's how the DS was set up. So somebody has just ported a DS game. No English language support. It's selling for 10% at $9. Let's trade all of these. It's like a 2-screen shoot 'em up that I assume was on the 3DS. Yeah, somebody is literally selling a 3DS game on Steam and they didn't adjust anything at all. They just put a border around everything. I imagine we'll see more of that, though, before we see less of it. Because I bet what's going to happen is people see that there's not going to be that much more support for the 3DS. They're going to try and make some more money any way they can. There's a PC Gamer article promising VR stealth game budget cuts, gets a May release date, will take 8 hours to complete. And what makes this game so promising? Let's see. I think what is crazy about it is it kind of has these portals that it does, where you can target enemies via portals and shoot them. If it's the game I'm thinking about, yeah, it sort of seems like that. That's kind of it, but ignoring the portal thing, which I am seeing some portal things, for the most part, you're still just walking around what looks like an asset flip of a 3D environment and just kind of doing nothing. Just hit this guy twice. Yeah, I don't see anything special enough about this VR game for PC Gamer to be talking about it. There's a game by a developer called $1 for 99 cents on Steam called 8 Ball, that you would think with a game called 8 Ball you'd be playing 8 Ball Pool, No, you're playing as a character with arms and legs that's an 8-ball that is platforming on like some early 90s terrible graphics. It's still so doable to do a bad job with the graphics. Like this looks like Avoid the Noid level quality. Which I guess that's not a good reference. It just no. Nobody's gonna look at this and want to play this game. Even for 99 cents. It has 10 levels and that's it. There are no reviews. And not surprising. Let's keep playing. The Ni no Kuni 2 developer has teased a MMORPG scale game set in the modern day. But it won't be out for a few years, so there's really nothing new to say there. Like, that's not news from PC Gamer, pretty much. Like, Gearbox Quebec, which this is more evidence, in my opinion, against the idea that they really are going to announce Borderlands 3 before EA, before E3, because Gearbox Quebec has several positions they're trying to fill. Associate producer, level artist, environment artist, character artist, animator, gameplay programmer, level designer, and QA tester. So, unless they are trying to make yet another game and start development of another game right on the heels of being right about time to announce Borderlands 3. Like, you'd have to assume Borderlands 3 is going to get announced and they're going to say, and it's available to play right now, and that they just expect to make so much money they're hiring for their next project. It's a lot more believable that they're still working on Borderlands 3 and trying to hire new people in there. And being that it's a Quebecian company, that they post the tweet out in English and French as they're legally required to, and that causes trouble, certainly, with me accidentally opening the wrong version. There's a game called Stunt Hill that has 1 reviews by a company called CAS Games, CAS Games, only 1 game on Steam. This looks like it maybe would it be the beginning of a cell phone game, of a racing game, but why not play Trackmania? It's 40% off for $1.20. I don't see any reason why you want to do that. Like, there's 1 Russian recommendation. I'm starting to believe that a significant portion of people who put games on Steam are actually just Russian trolls. Like, is this how spies encode their messages? They put out fake games on Steam? Yeah, there's nothing here that would make you want to play Stunt Hill. Trackmania is a better option. The Steins Gate will get a remaster with additional story things. Also an 8-bit version with chiptunes for the Switch version. Let's see. There's an 8-bit version coming to the Switch. What are the other versions? It's PS4 and Nintendo Switch. So not PC. But yes, PC, because it says Steam page up now. Hmm. The thing about Steins Gate, if I remember correctly, is that it is half like it has like almost an hour of actual animation in it, in wrapped around a visual novel. So it actually is a pretty good game to play if I was gonna play an anime based visual novel game. So yeah, I'll add this to my wish list on Steam. It says it will be available in 2018. Let's see, Steins Gate Elite is the name. It's a ragtag battle of tech-savvy young students who discover the means to change the past via email using a modified microwave. That's quite the story. Let's see, do this. And then do this. So there's some kind of time manipulation into it. There's a game called Travaildorn, Travildorn, one word. It's from a developer who's made 2 other games that haven't been rated positive. It has a different publisher that's published, I would say quite a bit, at least 30 games it seems like. And it looks like it's unturned Unity assets. We haven't seen these type of games in a while, actually. The people I thought had given up on making the unturned style Unity asset ripoff games, because Unturned had stopped being popular on Steam, YouTube.
Let the pain speak to me.
Let's see if I can actually get this story reported correctly. The battle, we talked about this nearly a month ago. The battle for Star Control and the license of Star Control and over Stardock and a different company is continuing to go on, and one settlement has been rejected and a different settlement has been offered. So this was a bloody battle that is going to take longer, almost certainly, to finally get. It's going to end up in courts more than likely, and it's going to require some judge to make the final decision, because I believe one side is claiming they created Star Control or Star, and the other side is claiming that they didn't create Star Control, they just worked on it. Here's another story. I don't fully know what's going on. A late Fiorentina captain and Italian international David Astori will remain in the FIFA game. FIFA 18, EA confirms. Let's see. However, EA has pulled Astori's FIFA Ultimate Team items from the packs. Okay. So, the defender who was capped 14 times by Italy. I don't know what capped means, but I assume that means he did well at soccer. Tragically died of a cardiac arrest by natural causes on the 4th of March at just the age of 31. After his death, the price of his football cards, or FUT cards, on the in-game auction house shot up as the players looked to cash in on the incident. That's the problem with having an in-game market, isn't it? Okay, so the guy died, and they're trying to be respectful of the football player while not also ruining FIFA 18 at the same time. There's a game called Warbot, which is a VR fighting game controlling a robot, which looks a lot like Real Steel or Tellero Boxer or ARMS if you didn't have the ARM elements. It's made by a company called Shanghai Illusion Computer Software Company Limited. They've only made one game. It's 20% off at $15.19. Now, Warbot as a game looks slightly interesting, like something that might be the beginning of something cool if it weren't for the fact that it requires VR and it's early access and it's really expensive and there's only one review. Like, if it weren't just for all of those things, it would catch my attention. I seriously do want a boxing game, and the rumors are, I don't know if this is confirmed yet, but the rumors are that they are going to bring Punch-Out in some form to the Switch. I believe, arcade version of Punch-Out too, so not the lesser known version of Punch-Out. Although probably not the least known version of Punch-Out, because there is a version that was made for the Wii also. So I'm gonna follow this game just to see if maybe it would ever get an update and not be playable on VR. It doesn't even seem like it's really benefiting from being played in VR, because you're not looking through the eyes of the robot most of the time. You're looking from a side-to-side perspective. Man, I got too many pages open. The Darkness 2 is free right now if you go to the Humble store. So go get the Darkness 2. Despite the fact that the Darkness 2 is a game that that ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, and it's unlikely there will ever be a completion of the story. I think for free you can't beat that. There's a chance I already own it, but whatever. The director, Swery, the director of Deadly Premonition, is back again to Kickstarter, trying to do The Good Life, which is the game where you play as a girl that moves to a city where people magically turn into cats at the end, and it's a sim murder mystery adventure set in an idyllic English village, which that's more explanation than what they had the first time. I still don't think this game is going to succeed, but I'm not sure if Swery's going to get the message either, or if he's just going to every few months come back and say, let's try this again. People are liking Ghost of the Tell. Reportedly, EA is working on an open world Star Wars game. Job listing says the game will have online features. My concern there is, are they going to try to make a World of Warcraft style Star Wars game? And I guess that's the tiniest of tiny concerns, because if they did that, fine, whatever. I'd prefer if they'd make a single player story driven experience, but if they just want to make Knights of the Old Republic meets World of Warcraft, there's plenty of Star Wars fans out there that would play that, and that could be the money maker for EA to help them fund some single player stories, experiences, and make some better Star Wars games. The question, I suppose, is does EA want to make good Star Wars games now that they've been called out from Battlefront, or do they just want to make more money still? That's the question. Apparently Pixel Junk Monsters is also on Steam, although it's not coming out yet. It's available May 25th. You know, I'm gonna wishlist this game and see if maybe I do want to play it later. Apparently Pixel Junk 1 isn't on Steam. So it's one of those PC versions of a game that doesn't have the original, which always stinks. Hey, I'm about to win if I just pay attention and play the game. They're continuing their progress of putting handheld games on the Internet Archive. Let's see. Apparently, you have to click here to download them all. I'm not sure if they're ready to have them all downloaded, though. I feel like there's going to be a version 2.0 of a torrent or something that would download all of them a little bit easier. Let's see. Level 5 CEO teases an MMORPG scale 20th anniversary title. Let's see. To celebrate Level 5's 20th anniversary, the company's newest game will be set not in a fantasy but in a modern day with a... this is the article we had already seen before. It's not coming out anytime soon. Somebody made a game and put it on Steam called Benjamin Johnson Episode 1. No reviews. It's from a developer who also made a game called Deserted: The Story of Peter. You're just putting people's names in your game. Victory. As far as what this game really is, it's just terrible graphics. It's really, really bad hand-drawn MS Paint graphics. So I wouldn't actually buy that game. Just thought that was a funny name. The final episode of... So we only want one victory left. We don't want to finish the daily quests until tomorrow. The final episode of the government snooping sim Orwell Ignorance is Strength is now out. I didn't even know that was an episodic game, but it's out now. There's a game called Torque Simulation Begins. It came out the 24th. The graphics don't look good, and it seems like it's just a combination of a bunch of assets. Like just random things. Part of it you're playing as a ball rolling around. Part of it you're just kind of wandering, floating around as nothing. There's monsters, giant lizards, there's lava. This is all over the place. Were there any reviews for this game? Nope. It's because they want $3 and none of it's on discount. Inconsistent advertisement. If you're really going to make a game that's random, you kind of have to trick the person buying it to the level of have all the advertisement look the same, and then when they get in it, have something that looks drastically different in parts of it, but still don't false advertise and actually have the advertisement screenshots be part of the game and near the beginning part of the game. PUBG has announced a periodically changing custom game event mode. Flare guns are coming, which that's interesting. PUBG is continuing to try to make their game stand out and be more of a game while competing now very heavily with Fortnite, which they would have really preferred to not had to do that. Let's see, there's an article from PC Gamer, how to open Ni no Kuni 2's Blue Lock chest. That's not really usually an argument, an article that I need to cover, so I'm just gonna skip that. I still have so many things. So many bits of news. And we're in a weird position because I'm going to play some offline tomorrow, probably, a little bit. And because of that, there'll be less to do tomorrow, Wednesday. Let's see, if I hit this, I can't do this. So I have to hit this and kill it and then do this. Let's see what this is. Apparently, according to Gematsu, SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, the SNK game with all the girl characters, is going to get an arcade version. So in the Japanese arcades, because there really aren't any arcades in the United States, and frankly this is definitely not the game that is going to get translated to English and go over to an arcade, there will be a way to play it in the Japanese arcades, and that's pretty much it. Like, I doubt it even goes to any other Asian country. Let's see, there's a game called Polyworld that came out the 24th on Steam. It's made by a company called Music Breath that's made a game called Piano Cat, and let's see, it's 30% off for $7. That's too expensive for something that sounds like it is a Minecraft ripoff. And it's not a Minecraft ripoff, I don't believe. I think it might be a Line Rider ripoff, which I just saw this game because PewDiePie did a sponsored ad on it. And there's this game called Line Rider Drawing Line or something, I don't even remember what it's called, where you have to just tap the screen on the beat to make a square stay on a platform and turn left or right, depending on whether left or right would move him closer towards the center of the screen. So he's just always moving back and forth, staying towards the center of the screen. And I just have like no beat whatsoever. I'm so tone deaf that I couldn't even do the first level. And the game isn't that good because it doesn't allow you to listen to the music and learn the music and know the beats after you die. So you're just out of luck trying to play the game. So yeah, this is just a total ripoff. It has 19 original levels with incredible landscapes. It doesn't actually talk about any music, however. So yeah, I could see why this game got put out real quickly as an asset flip, since this is Line Rider apparently is the new hotness for right now. It probably won't be for very long though. The concept of the original version of the game, with some improvement, with with it not being completely built around the concept of just screwing people out of money by demanding them to watch ads or buy extra tries. Like it really is a terrible game with all the mobile microtransaction elements in it. Omen by HP, which apparently is some kind of group within Hewlett Packard, has unveiled the Omen UK Open, a 6-month Counter-Strike Go tournament with $30,000 in prizes. Okay. So that kind of makes sense, although HP would not be my first pick of companies to think that they would try and pander towards esports players. A PC Gamer has an article that says enemies in Spec Ops The Line never actually throw grenades and other game design secrets. Let's see if we can... No, you'd have to read this whole article because it's not making it into bullet points. Something you could read. There's a game called Fear, P-H-E-E-R, that has 1 review on Steam. Came out March 21st. It looks like a terrible platforming, like Super Meat Boy with terrible MS Paint animation on it. The 1 review says it's recommended. Reminds me of Fez. It looks nothing like Fez. It's 25% off for 74 cents. I would not spend 74 cents on this, even if it was the best performing and super tight control version of this game. It just looks too bad. I could never get over it. I would, from the beginning of the game to the end, I would just be frustrated with the bad graphics. A game called YuNo, YU-NO, is getting a remake for the Switch and PC. No release date. It's YuNo, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world, for the full name. It was originally released for the PS4 and Vita on March 2017 in Japan, and it's coming to Switch and Steam from the publishers 5PB. It's a visual novel to publish to promote the upcoming anime. No 100% guarantee that it will have English support. Although typically if it does come to Steam, it does have English support. So that's that. God Eater 3 is to be released on the PS4 and PC and has a second trailer. This is from Bandai Namco, and I imagine it will have English support. God Eater is a long-running anime action game, like hack and slash brawler type thing. It's not like the zombie vampire game. It looks really similar to the vampire game that they're working on, that's supposed to be the spiritual successor to Dark Souls. There's a game called Murnation, M-U-R-N-A-T-A-N. It has mixed reviews, 52% of 53 reviews. It came out on March 24th. It's from AAA Games SRO, which made a different game called Grass Max. Let's go ahead and squelch this. We're gonna lose. Now, this is a free-to-play game that looks kind of like something that could have been made in the Source engine, and has a lot of elements that feel like Team Fortress, where you're running around. You're shooting a lot of rats in corridors and other monsters. The graphics aren't great, but the graphics aren't terrible either compared to the vast majority of awful graphics that we've seen come to Steam. It's an early access game. It's free to play. It's kind of hard to say that this one is not worth a look at if you love things like Team Fortress 2, but want it in a different setting. Let's look at the 25 negative reviews. It's a no brand name, dollar store quality, unapologetic knockoff of Natural Selection 2, so apparently you should just play Natural Selection 2. Such a dead game, only 19 people playing it. A bad copy of Tremulous should be the tag for this game, but it's probably modeled after Natural Selection 2. So the solution, I suppose, here is to play Natural Selection 2, which is weird because when I'm scrolling through the more like this feed of games on Steam, Natural Selection 2 is not getting mentioned at all. So that seems really weird. Natural Selection 2 is selling for $10. It is mostly positive at 74% recently. It looks better than the game we just looked at by far. So it's multiplayer only, so I wouldn't play it, but I must concur on just looking at the trailer. Natural Selection 2 seems like a better choice of game. And I don't for a second believe that the creators of Natural Selection went and reviewed a game that ripped them off and said, come check out our game. I just think that happens. A little bit of YouTube news. I don't know what this really means, but Cecile, C-E-C-I-L-E, space Frot-Koutaz, that's Frot-Coutaz, is leaving a company called Fremantle Media, which I believe to head up YouTube's EMEA operations. What are EMEA? I need to zoom in more. Let's see. She's heading up operations for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Ah, that's what EMEA. The surprise announcement Wednesday that she would leave production and distribution giant Fremantle Media after more than 2 decades marks the latest departure from a seasoned TV executive for a FAANG job, which I don't know what that is supposed to be. So this probably means something bad for YouTube, honestly, unless she comes in with some very different ideas and isn't just going to continue to pursue Susan Wojcicki's ideas. It seems like YouTube's only going to get worse. And I kind of know that because they're going to now make you click all these check boxes to monetize videos, even if you want to monetize a video. That way you proactively confirm that you are saying that specific video that you're uploading is monetizable. And that's the carrot, as much as the carrot as you're going to get with YouTube if you can monetize videos on YouTube still. And the stick is going to come almost certainly in a couple months, where they're going to start saying you're going to get community guideline strikes if after you check this box and say it's monetizable and we decide that it's egregiously not monetizable. YouTube said it had recruited Frot-Koutaz, one of the most senior executives in international TV, as the head of its services for its EMEA region, reporting to Chief Business Officer Robert Kinchel. Cecil comes with an incredible experience in the media industry. Her leadership, guidance, and strong network and deep industry understanding will be invaluable as we continue to strengthen our partnership and grow creator bases throughout Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Almost certainly this is built around the idea of YouTube TV too. That they're just trying to make sure YouTube TV can get on air in those countries. YouTube is expected to launch its Red subscription service in multiple international territories this charity. It's already been commissioning original content from the UK, such as the sci-fi series Origin from the Crown producer. This also has a slate of original programming from its core ad-supported services, including the upcoming entertainment shows Training Days, produced by James Corden's Fulwell, 73. Let's see. Fremantle Media has embraced digital distribution under Frank Cortez's leadership, establishing almost 300 YouTube channels. So there are 300 YouTube channels right now that this lady was in charge of, created, including content such as the X Factor, and Idol. So like American Idol, UK Idols, things like that. So yeah, channels that were putting TV shows on YouTube instead of making new good original content on YouTube. Hollywood stuff, basically, even if it isn't actually Hollywood. Fox move into the latest department of a senior executive from a traditional TV world in Britain has alarmed established players such as BBC and ITV. Former Channel 4 controller Jay Hunt has moved to Apple, and former Fremantle and BBC executive George Brown to Amazon. So a lot of people are probably leaving UK-based jobs in general in fear of Brexit alone. There's a game called Trivia Vault Boxing Trivia, and it is just one of many 99-cent game with the title Trivia Vault. So this guy is flooding Steam with low quality trivia games that, I mean, they look bad, but they seem to actually be trivia games. 40% off for $1.20. Let's see, 250 trivia questions isn't a unreasonably small amount of money of questions. Yeah, I wouldn't buy this game, Trivia Vault, and nobody else has, but this would be a tough one to just call a fake game, too. It's variations of the same game. There's a different Sherlock Holmes game from a different company called Crisp App Studio, who have made a bunch of hidden object games, and their latest release is Sherlock Holmes Trap for the Hunter Hidden Objects. It's rated positive, 92% of the 14 recent reviews. It says a lot of puzzles, and a lot of puzzles, if you're looking for a hidden object game, is exactly what you would be hoping for. The graphics don't look bad on this. The question is, what's the price? 10% off for $2.70. I'll wishlist it, but I'm not gonna really buy the game at that high price. Sherlock Holmes doesn't look like he's drawn in any way. Similar to the previous Sherlock Holmes games. The weird thing is, I kind of wonder if they have the rights to Sherlock Holmes, but I imagine nobody does because it's public domain. So anybody can make a Sherlock Holmes game? There's a lot of positive reviews from people who got the game. Here's a negative review. A smartphone game on a PC, don't think so. Need to scroll the picture horizontally despite huge black borders. So the resolution seemed to be problems. That's like the only negative review though, is that it's a PC port. After spending most of today looking at terrible, much worse games on Steam, a cell phone port of a decent looking game is fine by me. The dog in Far Cry 5 can't die, but you do have to heal him by rubbing his stomach. They have a little video of it, so the video I'm saying, he lies down and you kind of just pat him when he gets hurt. You pat his belly and he comes back to life. You pat his back. So the article is not even right. You don't rub his stomach. Alright, this will do 12 damage next turn. This article doesn't have anything to do with video games. I don't know why. It has to do with Professor Layton anime that will air in Japan, but it's not the Professor Layton video games aren't releasing a new game to coincide with that. Steins Gate 0, which is a different Steins Gate than what we talked about earlier, is coming to PC via Steam on May 8th. Let's see. So, multiple visual novels in which you can manipulate time. We'll wishlist that. No price listed. I still haven't gotten everything. Still haven't gotten everything covered. Let's see. There's MOE, which is pronounced Moe in Japanese, Jigsaw on Steam, which is a jigsaw puzzle with anime girls, cute anime girls, in levels of undress. Let's see, very positive, 95% of 103 users. So if you want to get some reviews for a game that this game came out March 23rd by a company that's published a lot of DLC that also seems to be free, and a game called Happiness Drops, which is a Tetris game, which too might be something to check out. Let's see if there's any discussion. So the jigsaw puzzle game, 40% off, $2.39. I could see why you would want to do that. Let's see. It only has 15 pictures for the entire game, though, so it kind of is a ripoff. $5, 3 at launch, and 15 puzzles, 7 other packs with 7 puzzles. Puzzle pieces go up to 600. The problem there is I'm pretty sure that there is some puzzle game out there where you could just upload your own images and then you'd just be done with it forever. And 600 piece puzzles for a computer is not the maximum amount you probably could get. You could get up to 1,000 pieces, 2,000 pieces. Yeah. So there's really not much you can even say about it. It's probably not worth your money in the long run for just some still images in puzzle form. It's not going to be the ultimate puzzle game. Let's see. Still can't trade this out and still haven't gotten the new thing. So I don't even know if I want to play any game. Let's just play a hunter game. Just a crazy ranked hunter game while we try to finish all of this. There was a player that completed all of the World of Warcraft's 3,314 achievements, and it took him 6 years to do that. That person was way overcommitted to his goal. There's a game called Push with 1 review on Steam, came out March 23rd. It doesn't look very good. It's black and white boxes, and that's kind of it. So yeah, it's selling for $4, way too expensive, and it's not recommended for somebody who put an hour and a half into the gameplay. So he actually played probably the whole game and rates it negatively. This Mega Man maker that's a fan sandbox Mega Man maker has added some new foes and friends, but I don't think you're going to get this on Steam. So it's freeware, you can grab it. So this is a Rock Paper Shotgun article if you're looking for a fan-made Mega Man maker game, which is an interesting thought. I don't think it's as good as a Mario Maker game. Somebody made a game just called Bitcoin from a fake game creator. I can pretty much say it has mixed reviews. 54% of the 17 reviews are positive. The graphics look terrible. It looks like it's some kind of clicker type game. It's early access. It's 25% off for 70. For 74 cents. Let's see what the reviews are. Useless game, negative review. Some positive reviews on top of it, but I don't believe the positive reviews. Rock Paper Shotgun has an article, System Shock remake back on track, delayed to 2020. I don't believe that either. Let's see if we can find out why they say it's back on track. Let's see, PC Gamer talked to Night Dive head folks at GDC and they said it was back on track, which is, that's probably not true. Let's see. This and this. There's going to be a enhanced edition of Space Hulk Deathwing coming this May. For the 40k people, and that gets me to the Humble Bundle store with Jumbo Bundle 11. What's new? Let's see, let's reload this page. They still haven't revealed the new game for above the average, which is $5.12 now. 1 day and 1 hour they'll show the next game. Yeah, I still think I could probably buy Jumbo Bundle 11 and just get above the average, and I would be fine with all those games, because there's nothing else that overlaps. It's a Makerspace book bundle, do-it-yourself electronics book bundle, and another book bundle, and another music bundle or software bundle. Yeah, the only game bundle right now is the Jumbo Bundle 11. Which that then puts me back to my Twitter account, and let's just see if there's any news that we actually have to talk about before we wrap up today. No post show. I'm loving that for the vast majority of time there's no post show needed anymore. The silent post show was not working. Let's see. Apparently Ikaruga, which is a pretty famous bullet hell shooter game, has been rated for the PlayStation 4 in Germany, which probably means it's coming everywhere, if I was to guess. Let's go ahead and kill that. Susan Wojcicki has posted a picture of her with Ralph Macchio, William Zabaka, and Cobra Kai series. So I think these are famous actors, which makes perfect sense. That's exactly what she wants to do, is buddy up to famous actors and be famous herself instead of just be a CEO. Like a normal CEO would. Let's see. Child's Play Charity has a video they put out called What is Child's Play, in case you didn't know. Apparently Detective Pikachu official launch trailer has come out for the DS consoles, probably in Japan only right now. I don't know. Here's a new piece of software we can talk about next time. Just the what's on Steam games don't actually need to be talked about as we're wrapping up. We can save that for Wednesday. Apparently Rare's going to abandon the Sea of Thieves desk cost following complaints. Doesn't seem like anybody is really liking Sea of Thieves. They just don't feel like there's enough of a game there. It's pirate simulator, basically. Play as a pirate and then you make your own fun, is what most people are saying. It also doesn't seem like A Way Out is that good either. But I wasn't ever going to play A Way Out because it required 2 players anyways. But yeah, you didn't. The thing about A Way Out particularly was it didn't really add anything more past its first trailer to continue the hype train, and I've never seen anything that says it really does anything more than what you kind of see from the trailer. So it's just like cooperative prison break story that eventually gets you out of prison and you try to prove your innocence, kind of. Like, I didn't even see these Witchwood cards. I'm not even going to talk about them. I'll talk about them on Wednesday. Hollow Knight Lifeblood update now available in public beta, if anybody's interested in that. Let's see. Apparently, the Worms creator Team 17 is going to go public in a $280 million deal, so you can buy shares in it. That kind of makes sense as Team 17 is becoming less and less of a game focus, less and less of a company focused around making games, and more of a publisher of other people's games and trying to find money in other ways. Like, it certainly would make sense that maybe this is the beginning of the end. Susan Wojcicki congratulated somebody for a Kids' Choice Award of the Nickelodeon. Right. And then she also tweeted a spotlight on the Merrill twins, which are some other YouTube stars I've never heard of. Which is weird because it says they're into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I watch a lot of STEM videos, but I guess I watch really complicated videos that teenage girls would not be teaching me anything new from, or any more than teenage boys would be. Neither one of them would be teaching me anything new. Let's see, 3 hours ago, Hearthstone episode 363 aired. Let's see. I already talked about that. Scrolling down Twitter. Too much work. Made too much work for myself ever since I started watching every single game. And I've kind of hit the bottom of the barrel as far as other companies that I could like mute so that there's less tweets I'm seeing. I've kind of just hit a minimum number of tweets. I'm gonna have to scroll down every time I try to scroll down my Twitter account and see everything I haven't seen. Think we're starting to get there. 4 hours ago. I could probably mute Bill Gates. I don't need to see what he has to say. Like, I've been watching him for about a year and he says interesting things, but not really video game related things. Rise of the Tomb Raider 20th year celebration episode 49 aired 4 hours ago. I timed the release of that video right alongside the Tomb Raider movie. But I hear the Tomb Raider movie actually kind of suffered because people were still in the 5th week watching Black Panther. So congratulations, I suppose, to Black Panther. 5 hours ago we started streaming the stream. I think, though, while that might have hurt the Tomb Raider movie a little bit, the most thing that hurt the Tomb Raider movie is there just was not a lot of buzz from people who had seen the movie, because the movie sounds like it's pretty mediocre and just an average action movie in a world where average action movies don't make enough money to be for the producers of those movies to be happy. Yeah, we've got no new news to talk about. Got like 2 bots that followed me today. seems like. So more bots on my Twitter account. Alright, this is a good point to end the stream. So tomorrow, for my main account, I've got to get 1 mage victory and either trade out this or play this and do the Tavern Brawl. Well, actually, I just kind of have to do 1 mage victory, don't I? Like, yeah, that's all I really need to do. So tomorrow, off screen, I'll do 1 mage victory. It won't be a big loss. That's it for this live stream. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me with YouTube, helps me get more viewers and subscribers, theoretically. If you want to support me further, friend me on Steam, gift me a game, send me a Steam gift code through Twitter, direct message, or send me a Steam gift card. That's the new monetization policy, which we'll see if that really works. That's it for this recording. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.